I just think
Welcome
that's
to
funny.
the Adventures in Jir'Haniya, where everyone just realized that getting to level 7, everyone multi-classed.
I'm still the hipster because I did it first.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah, you really are the hipster.
Let's chill it out, cousin.
Oh, man.
I want credit for being unique first. Calm down.
As I drink my drip coffee and just...
Out of a mug you probably made.
I didn't make it. My girlfriend made it for me.
Yeah.
Well, so, with Eremos taking a level in Bard as he seeks fulfillment due to his strained exhaustion-based relationship with his patron, Verkus, as we all know, has been doing the Fighter Ranger multi-class. Kastan and Tide, what are your classes for the viewers to revel in? What are your new abilities?
I think given what had just happened, we got this power up from an underwater. Well, I mean, the entity was underwater, but it was strong in its own right. Oh. So I got a level in Warlock.
Nice.
And
yes.
I just chose the deeps.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
So I got 2 more cantrips to add to my list.
You're 37 that you already have.
Just 2 more. And then I also now have a few more things that I can do with my bonus action, which I think I felt it was very fitting, having been so deep underwater and having had this new burst of power, but it's a different kind of magic that I'm used to using. So I'm I'm going to that.
Yeah.
Ooh, and what about Kastan? What's he rocking?
Real quick, I have a question. How many cantrips does this bring you to?
I'll count. You start your part.
It's easier to say which cantrips he can't do.
What cantrips don't I have?
I didn't take minor illusion. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so my voice is in and out.
Hope you feel better.
But
yeah, 13.
I'm feeling okay. 13. That's ridiculous.
What?
Anyway, so Kastan, having interacted with this Mind Flayer-esque entity, it was a consciousness using the Mind Flayer skull or head, whatever. I was like, oh, that's fun. And because Kastan already has this ability of telepathy, I went into Aberrant Mind Sorcerer.
Whoa.
Nice.
Okay.
I dig it.
So he's really just expanding on that telepathic, maybe eventually telekinetic sense that he's developed. And what better way to bring it about than through Mind Flayer?
I love that.
Josh has some long-term plans to sprinkle in the main plot for that, so love it. But
bring it on, baby. I'll miss every single clue.
I love it.
Honestly, that was the reason I decided a level in Ranger versus a level of Fighter was the Mind Flayer, because I took my extra language as Deep Speech. And my new favorite terrain that I added was Coast.
Nice. Okay.
Coastline, beaches and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe that's what I took.
Cool.
I took my favored enemy as Aberrations.
Okay.
And no, I took Mountain, for Natural Explorer.
Okay. That fits your backstory more. I figure you would have ventured more to the west of Jir'Haniya.
Yeah,
I
chose Mountain. It was the Aberrations that I took from the Mind Flayer.
Well, and Mount Erig is pretty close to Havenhearth, which is where your character is based out of, so that totally fits. So
yeah,
I love it. Well,
Ramos has connections to the side of that mountain with some Duergar.
Yeah, that you would have heard that there are Duergar in certain parts of that mountains. Indeed, very much.
No, Josh, I actually set up camp and worked with those Duergar when I was exiled from Havenhearth for some time.
Oh, okay. I don't know if anyone else in the group knows about that. So interesting.
Knows what? What are we talking about?
Yeah, what? Huh?
What?
So it's part of a hidden story, but yeah.
Well,
We'll pull it out of Eremos. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
No
Yes.
secret is safe now that Kastan can freely enter your mind.
I need an adult.
Well,
I'm
actually,
not
this.
touching you.
Okay. Well,
All right, I'm gonna mute myself.
This mental finger that's just right here all the time.
Oh no.
well, I was gonna say let's go around as you guys are jutting out of the water to what everyone thinks about that encounter, but I'm a little afraid to ask that now to dive into everyone's psyche. But we can do that if you guys want.
I mean, I'm down.
Eremos, how's Eremos feeling after everything that's happened today over the last couple days?
He's still exhausted, but he feels a sense of accomplishment in helping Dalatar, Dalatina, and the others.
Nice. Those were some happy turtles when you guys left, doing their little happy turtle dance in the water. So awesome. Verkus, what's running through your head after all the craziness that's occurred under the sea?
Under the sea. I would say Verkus, there's a piece that is still nagging him in the back of his mind after his poison induced trip. But a stronger urge to protect his newfound family.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm. And
that
also,
was a wild, unexpected thing to that little random encounter on the way to the reef. That eel with the madness. That was...
Also, I'm just curious because I was holding on to that goblin head when we got shunted out. That we've been holding on to for weeks, I assume at this point.
I had forgotten about it, but you have been holding on to it since like session 2. So yes.
Yeah,
so did we. It's probably real gross by now.
What's the state of it after being in the water and then just being propelled out of the water like that? Is it just like the ear?
We did skyrocket up from situations underwater twice.
This is true. So, not to be gross, but to answer the question, most of the flesh has been stripped away now. There are a few chunks of mostly cartilage still gripping onto the bone, but so you can still have a little bit of like barely there hair to hang on to, but it's mainly a skull now with a few bits of cartilage, barely any flesh. So
I'm gonna update my inventory to goblin skull.
Yeah, but
Skull,
which I'm into. I kind of like that idea. I'm gonna have fun with this. I don't know how, but I will.
I love it. Well, thank you for sharing, Gothmog. We appreciate it. And Kastan, what's Kastan thinking right now coming up out of the water after being God Savior superheroes yet another time in recent days?
Kastan is feeling a little guilty for the actions that he had taken previously, had such serious impacts that went further beyond where he thought that his impact could even reach. And I think at the same time, he's pretty exhausted. He's been doing a lot in these past couple days and also hasn't slept. He's not quite as exhausted as Eremos, obviously, but still, like, he enriched farmland and became a tree and saved an underwater turtle town, turtledome, whatever. I'm calling it Delantis in my notes.
I like Delantis. I love
Delantis.
And so yeah, I think that he's exhausted. He's a little guilty. He can feel himself growing, and so he's just thinking back to probably when he was like a younger Eladrin, like growing up and living with his grandmother most of the time. She would always say, like, Kastan, you need to rest in order to grow. So he's just looking forward to a nice long sleep.
Okay. Excellent. And how about Tide? What are you feeling after communing with the deep and sensing new power like you haven't had before?
Tide's excited, like just all the new magic that he's been learning, like the things that he's been able to like figure out, and like new pathways of magic that he didn't think that was something that he was ever going to like dive into. And then also just like it's just interested in like how a little bit of magic goes a long way. Like this little critter town super far from here had an effect out here, and I think that's interesting to see how like magic can really just do a lot. And then I think he also has some like concerns for Eremos, and like knowing that he's kind of far from any place where he can pray, or where he can like feel like something that like a place where he can like find comfort and relax for an evening. You can kind of just see how he's been just weighed down and trying to keep it to himself until just recently, and then even then we still had a lot to do, so it'd be nice to like just be able for all of us to just be able to get a place to settle for an evening, and hopefully not get blown up or have random critters and animals come and be like, hey, we need you to do something, like, can we just take a night to chill? Like,
Because
Alright, that was my next
Gaston will
session.
immediately run off to help whatever squirrel needs assistance.
A family of eagles comes to you. No, I'm just kidding. No, well, thank you for giving us all introspection into all of your characters. I love where you guys are at and how you're really ruminating on how this is all affecting your characters. Excellent role playing. I love it. So as you guys jut out of the water like superheroes, you guys do return to the shore. And you can make your way back to Dinlaur and take a long rest. I know last session we said we kind of fast forward to that. Nothing really would happen on the way there. I mean, the people in the town of Dinlaur were really not aware of the entire war in their nearby water areas. There's still more.
How is that the rabbit folk that we poisoned?
Or the Harengon?
If you were to go look for the Harengon that was poisoned, she would still be sleeping there.
Cool.
Yep. I think she went unconscious for like what, 12 or 24 hours. I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, she's still sleeping.
Yeah.
She's fine. She's safe. She's breathing normal, but she's fast asleep.
As we kind of walk by, knowing that she had mentioned something about that hobgoblin.
She did. She mentioned a warlord nearby causing trouble.
Do you mind if I search her person for any notes or anything regarding this hobgoblin warlord or anything along those lines?
Oh, certainly. I think you guys didn't you find a to-do list on her personage that gave you, it mentioned a few odd jobs out of Havenhearth, and then it just mentioned the warlord. I think it gave you his location as being, well, you'd have to search her, I guess, if we don't have written info about. Let me check my notes.
Oh yeah, there's maps of a town nearby, eastern Jir'Haniya.
Warlord gathering forces in the area.
Tribe base camp. There's a little note that just says tribe base camp over on the map.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I wrote down.
Yeah, so that was about as much info as she was going to have on her.
I also found 2 potions of so health.
So
do a D4 -1.
That's right. The cheap stuff. Gotta have the cheap
They
stuff.
might heal you.
Where did we get that?
I think I found them on the Harengon. I just in my notes like I find 2 potions of so health.
Do we still have whatever those things were from the guy who was training those birds? You know what I'm talking about, Victor?
Oh, the man that was in the fortress.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, we got 2 health potions, 3 wooden vials with the Watcher symbol on them. That would either add a D4 to an ability check, take a D4 away from an ability check, or take 10 feet off.
I've been using those.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I've used like 2 of them.
Yeah.
Did you, Kiston? Are you able to
dive
into? Okay.
Can I do that?
Are you able to dive into her memories and see if you can get more information about this camp?
Is that something I can do? Let's find out, folks.
Let's find out.
Let's find out this time on what the hell is my character sheet.
Roll that dice.
Okay, so I have telepathic speech. Let's see. I can do not detect thoughts. No, detect thoughts. Would that work?
Let me double check or does it say the person has to be conscious for that to work?
For the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures when you cast spells in your action turns. Blah 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 blah. Intelligence 3 or lower, doesn't speak any language. Creature's not affected. It doesn't specifically say consciousness, so I leave it
Yeah.
up to you, DM.
So then, yeah, no, if she's asleep, you could detect thoughts. I mean, now keep in mind, well, you've never done this before, so yeah, go for it, try it.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So do you would you
Sounds
ritual
like,
cast
sure,
it or?
Tide. I guess I'll give it a shot. I get one free use of it,
Okay.
through the telepathic feat that I took.
Nice.
So I'll use my free use of it because I have that once per day.
Cool. So, as you reach into her mind, you would get surface level thoughts at first, right? Then you could dig deeper.
Yes.
So initially, there's anxiety, and kind of like a little bit of frantic fear you feel.
Okay.
And if you continue digging in deeper, can you make me a wisdom save now? Because this person's asleep and they're right in the middle of a REM cycle, so you're gonna get some dream thoughts.
Okay. I don't know if this will impact Tide then, because I was going to say that with my other ability, telepathic speech, I would link minds with Tide so that he can kind of like delve with me.
Depending on how you describe what you're seeing, I will then see if Tide needs to make a wisdom save. But I want to see if you realize this is a dream state or if you're just like, what? You know?
She's having a nightmare of a short bald man hunting rabbits.
That's
she's
good.
never seen me. I was shape changed into something else.
That's a 22.
Okay. So, Kastan, as you start delving deeper into the mind, you see a young Harengon who looks like a younger version of the, being sick is the worst. Hope you feel better. But you see a young version of the Harengon who you see before you asleep. But she looks like a child, and there's other young Harengon around her, and there's like a giant person walking around with a crossbow. And this person is like, it looks like in her mind, like 30 feet tall. And you're immediately like, oh, this is a dream. Okay. Because just like, as she's kind of moving to like keep an eye on this person walking around her little home, she's like able to walk through walls sometimes, and then sometimes up is down. You just immediately with your high wisdom save are like, okay, she's dreaming. Like I'm not taking this at face value, you know? So as she's...
was this close to being a Circle of Dreams druid too, mind you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're like, interesting. So it seems like she's remembering, and again, very much warping through the dream state, something traumatic from her childhood. But there is also kind of, at one point, she's like in her family home, it seems like. You kind of have that sense where in the dream, just she knows certain things to be true, and you do by proxy with the magic. So like she looks at a picture of her family and she goes, oh, that's my family. And then she looks over at a small little short sword hung up on the wall, and she goes, that's going to save my life one day. And then she looks over at a bowl of fruit, and it somehow morphs to take the shape of a map of this region of Jir'Haniya, kind of the eastern area around Havenhearth. And you see her kind of look at the hills, which in this case are strawberries that are starting to go bad, but the hills between Borgenthak and Frakis, which are two cities west of Havenhearth, and she looks at those, and out of one of the strawberries crawls a tiny little grotesque bug, and she goes, that's the warlord. I'm worried about him. And then she looks up through the ceiling, and even though she's hidden, she can see through the ceiling this big, ugly-looking man with a crossbow, and she goes, he's got to go away soon or else things are going to be bad. And then it goes back to her just running through underground tunnels trying to dodge this person. But that's kind of where the dream's going. Do you want to describe any of this to Tide?
Give me 2 seconds. I completely spaced out and forgot to start taking notes while you were talking.
You are fine.
Yes,
I can repeat whatever I need.
I do want to describe this to Tide.
Could he like pull me into the, like, I'm assuming he's watching it from...
He's kind of like experiencing it as though he's in the dream with her.
Could he like
he just
pull me into it?
Yeah, I suppose you could, or he could just try to describe what he's seeing and translate the dream nonsense into logic, which could be fun. Up to you guys. Her defenses
What
are
were the
down because she's
names?
unconscious, so
What were the names of the two countries? It was something in
Two,
Perkis.
two places.
I'll type them out because they're spelled weird. I'll put them in the Discord for you.
Oregon back, I think.
Oregon fact, thank
Oregon,
you.
Bobble, and Ferkelink.
Bibblestib and Flickle Bob.
Hey, you guys would have both. Your characters would have probably heard of these places, so I'm gonna write a quick blurb in there also of what you would know of these places
Blurb.
because they're pretty large cities. They're not as big as
Sorry.
they're not as big as Havenhearth, but they are pretty big cities. So there's some quick little. Actually, I'll read these for the viewers really quick. So most of your characters would have knowledge of these cities because they're pretty large. So Borgenthak is a large, wide fortress built on the plains of Aklar, which is west and slightly south of Havenhearth. It's west and a little bit north of your current location. So this large, wide fortress is surrounded by a sprawling city. Borgenthak is a hub of central Jir'Haniya's farming and agriculture. It's ruled by a queen who succeeds her throne to her youngest daughter in an ancient tradition whose origin is lost to time. The city is peaceful and known to be tranquil by most, but boring to others. And then between Borgenthak and Havenhearth is the city of Frakis, which is a city at the eastern edge of the rocky highlands of Zorgoza. It's known for its universities, namely the SOBI, Scholastic Order of Brother Intellectuals, the College of Mages and Sorceress Studies, the Great Library of Jir'Haniya, and the University of Earthen and Havenly Studies. The city is actually ruled by an elected prime magistrate who serves 9-year terms and oversees a quorum made up of the senior scholars of each academic institution, but everyone knows that the richest school scholars are the ones with real power in the city. Yay, info dumping.
Yeah.
So she does see that between there's this warlord operating, it would seem.
So just so I understand, this warlord, do we know how big his forces are?
She said he was gathering more of a following and it was getting concerning. She wasn't more specific than that.
What's the name of the place there? The Dread something?
Oh, the Dread Keep is way up in the northeast.
Oh, that's not what she's dreaming of, right?
Right.
Right.
So,
that was
what
something
were you
that
trying-
the consciousness speaking through the mind flayer talked about.
We had heard it one other time prior to that as well.
I
Yeah.
think what's his name? Andrathane Malkarian mentioned it as well.
Yep.
Yes, yeah. Tide, what were you looking for specifically with me looking into her brain right now?
Well, that's why I was like, if we could like, if I could like enter and like also kind of be watching, I wanted to like whisper I thought we knew the name of like the keep to see if we could get specific information about, like, get her to start dreaming about that.
I hear you. Okay.
Like, see if we
So,
could like
I
get
will
like a
pass on-
layout or like a path up there. If there's, I don't know.
Oh my gosh,
Ramos
okay.
is very close to waking her up. He's getting really creeped out.
As he just sees Kastan standing over her and she's just kind of
I
twitching like a
got my
rabbit
hand-
leg in her sleep, you know?
Like on either side
Yeah.
of her head. But I think I would just explain to you, Ted. I don't think I would have invited you in because I don't think I would know how to do that just yet.
Yeah.
Just explain to him like she's reliving some childhood trauma, it seems. Something with the hunter. I think that's one thing. She's also dreaming of, I think, the location of the warlord. It's depicted in fruit, but I think it's on the border of Perkis and Borgenthak. If that's something that we wanted to look into, that might lead us toward whatever might be next. Maybe toward the Dread Keep even. And then that's all I remember.
Okay, I think that's all.
I'm sure there was more, but
I think that's all, because I even like when we were talking to her, she didn't know a lot. So if we have I think just the vague fruit map is something to work with.
I'll consult my star map. I'm pretty sure I can get us there.
And as you're thinking about that, Kastan, you see in the dream that the scary man with the crossbow kind of goes away, and her mood calms down a little bit. And you just get a vibe that she's like remembering past faces, and you feel that she has a connection to these people, and you're like, this dream's about to turn really sexual. Time to get out of here.
I'm going to in
Stay.
her dream, if I can, druidcraft the smell of eucalyptus and lavender just to try and keep things more chill.
Yeah.
But enjoy the rest of your dream as long as it's stress free and consensual.
You feel the stress level as you
And
druidcraft that.
consensual.
Yes. Yeah, you feel suddenly emotions of comfort and intimacy and connection, and it also just gets a lot calmer. Like all of the colors kind of get muted and more like calming.
I leave.
Cool, you're like, I'm out.
There's some
Don't
Marvin
transmit
Gaye.
the horniness.
Sorry, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I can't figure it out. Okay.
So as you guys are
Don't
doing
transmit
this,
the horniness.
you guys would, with your passive perception, notice that Tide's owl kind of flies down and gets on his shoulder. It had been kind of around you guys, and it comes back, and it looks like it might have returned from doing something real quick. But you guys would just notice that with your passive perception.
Okay. Have we rested?
I think we're on our way to rest.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the Dinlaur is about half an hour walk away. So easy stuff.
We did already go back.
Still look uncomfortable from the potion we gave her? Like, does she still look like she's in any pain or discomfort?
No, it looks like she's just getting a long rest in now. She looks pretty peaceful and yeah, with your passive perception, she looks physically fine. She's not ill or anything.
Okay.
And we already went back to Delantis to be like, Dalatina, you're safe now.
Yeah, you guys did that at the very end of the session. So yeah, I figure you guys would be heading back to, at this point after the day's adventure, it is close to evening. Yeah, it's almost, I think sundown will be in like an hour. So.
Okay.
We got to cook up some of this crab before we can eat.
I got it.
Do we have plenty of crab to feed the town? Have a crab boil?
Good.
I mean, I've got cook's utensils.
Yeah.
I'll cast Create or Destroy Water.
I can help you by cracking open their shells.
Create bonfire, get your cook fire going.
Just smashes it on his armor and then
Yeah,
like an egg.
Dragon just like pierces it and rips it apart.
So do we want to cook the crab now or when we get to town?
In town.
Well, in town.
Okay.
I think, yeah, especially if people have been rebuilding that area, we could definitely have enough to feed people like that.
You guys are going to be like the heroes
we
of
can do
Jir'Haniya.
shrimp cocktail. That's the goal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you guys head back into town, as you just go to like kind of check back in at the inn and make sure your rooms are still there, they would see that they could smell the kind of crab meat that you're carrying, and they go, "Oh wow, have you guys been out fishing? Look like you've been gone for a bit. You look a little bit damp. Are you okay?"
Sure.
Great time.
Yeah.
We were exploring your local reefs, just doing some diving.
Oh wow!
Up close and personal fishing.
Wow. Well, welcome back. A lot of the people have been helping rebuild the main street from the incident the other day, and but I'm glad you guys are back. Can I get you guys some dinner? You see, there's a few patrons around the inn's tavern. Having some meals, having some.
Is this
drinks.
the Tabaxi?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Whose name I am forgetting.
Actually, if you have a large pot, I was thinking we could do we were thinking like a little bit of a crab boil.
Well, oh, that would be amazing. Yes, we have a large cooking cauldron. We don't use it very often. Let me go and could you help me bring it out of the back room? It's kind of heavy.
May I have the honor of cooking?
Absolutely, we would love that. Yes, I'll put word out to the town. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just go into the kitchen. Is there a cook? Is there another cook in there?
There is. You haven't met him, so he is actually a gnome. There's a lot of step stools if you step back in the kitchen, because it looks like a kitchen that was built for typical humanoid size, like medium characters. So you do see a gnome in a little apron running around. He looks kind of sweaty and harried. He has a very big like handlebar mustache, and he goes,
Fantastic.
"Hey, can I help you? What you doing? Who are you?"
Verka says he's walking in, hits like 3 of the stools. Ow! 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 And just myself and my friends come with quite the bounty of crab, and we were thinking about doing a crab boil for the town on us. I just need a sous chef.
Well, you got enough meat to feed the whole town? Really?
I feel like we did. We? I don't know.
Yeah,
Actually.
Sure.
Yeah.
There was,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so
I was like, I
many-
feel like we did. We killed like
We
hundreds
killed
of
so many
crab.
crabs.
Yeah, you could have
So
gathered
many.
like some big old so you have enough.
Okay.
He goes, "Wow, really? I
absolutely.
mean, sure, yeah, why not?"
I call it Zephyr fishing.
Zephyr
Zephyr
fishing.
I'm more of a kitchen man, not a water man, so I'll trust your technique with its fancy names. But name's Sansa. Let me know what I can help you out with.
Sansa. Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
I'm just taking orders tonight anyway. I get paid the same regardless, so let me know.
All right. And I'm just gonna with whatever role you need me to make, but like hopefully using my chef's feet and everything, just cooking up a storm.
I mean, with your chef's feed, it's going to be successful. I'm just trying to see if there's a way we can really boost your. I guess it would be
Intelligence and proficiency, probably.
Not intelligence, not
No.
intelligence. No.
I think it would be
Probably
more
not
of a. I
intelligence.
think it'd be a wisdom-based thing, but let me
Or dexterity, because you're
I
cooking
mean,
with your
The
hands and
active name
stuff.
for the
honestly,
yeah.
here's what I would like from you.
Yeah.
Intelligence to know how to appropriately prepare.
Actually, I was gonna say I would like a sleight of
Survival.
hand check plus your wisdom modifier for a higher DC thing. Yes.
So I would like to help, just kind
Okay.
of instructing him, be like, cousin, maybe you're not familiar with crabs. Here's what the anatomy is like. And then also like just a gentle touch on the shoulder, and I'll give you guidance.
Fantastic.
Nice.
So do I
Nice.
get advantage for the help action as well?
Yes. So it's going to be advantage plus the guidance dice, and then whatever your sleight of hand modifier is, plus your wisdom modifier, which is 4.
Holy cannoli. Okay. I'm gonna take that.
And again, this is just to gauge how awesome your meal is. You're going to successfully cook a good meal. It's just, let's see how good.
Yeah.
Tide, you're really good at seasoning food. Come here.
Mhm.
A 25.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Tastes like grilled cheese.
Your palate is wild.
I know what I like.
There's something really wrong with your palate.
I know. This Verka's like eye twitching. Just
I'm
makes
holding
it
him back, cousin. It's okay, cousin. Calm down.
Uh,
He doesn't really need it. It's his magic. It's his magic, cousin.
So you could make I don't know the consistency of crabs. I've never had them because I'm allergic. But you could make like a grilled cheese sandwich
Crab
with
grilled
crab.
cheese.
Exactly. That is an option.
Oh,
I would
It'd be
not.
wild.
I would
not
never
recommend it.
create that. Verkus would never create that travesty.
Okay.
Well, never mind,
A
I'm not
lot
gonna
of
do
it
that.
is so. He prepares like some that is just like a crab boil with like butter and seasoning, very very basic, but also on the side with those mantis shrimp.
But you got to be careful with
makes-
those because they're a little
Yeah.
zippy, a little electrical. you
Yeah.
know?
Makes a shrimp and corn chowder with some crab meat and starts to chop that up, throws that in, and we'll also throw a little bit of buzz button if that's the thing in here, so that it kind of accentuates the
Josh does
numbing.
not know what that is. What is that?
So buzz button is a flower that if you eat it,
Like
it actually
numbing
has a
on your-
numbing effect,
Interesting.
but it only affects like 50% of people.
It's a
Interesting.
really good garnish for a citrusy drink.
Oh, okay. So Zanza, the cook, looks at you garnishing this awesome clam chowder, and he goes, if you ask about, though, is it Buzz Button? Is that what it's called? He says, he said, "Oh yes, some of the local farmers, they call it Yilgris, but I have a little bit, not too much, but he has just enough for your recipe." So he brings that to you, and he kind of looks up at you and goes, "You some kind of some big shot from the city? You just feel like you know what you're doing."
Actually, what I would like to tell you is that I am the owner and proprietor of the Laughing Dragon Tavern over in Havenhearth.
Never heard of it, but good for you, man. That's awesome.
He just kind of gets a little dejected for a second.
I figure if you own a place and you're able to travel, there's lots of competition in the big cities. So good for you, man. Good for you.
Thank you.
I may be the best cook here in Dinlaur, but you sure look like you know what you're doing. I'm excited to learn from you. Good stuff. He keeps going around helping you. He's kind of a fast talker. This guy, yeah.
Verkus is here for it. Verkus is just spewing absolute shit. He is saying, "This one time I took down a black dragon, cooked it to me. It was wonderful."
Really? You ain't got any burn scars or nothing? How'd you do that?
With finesse.
You sure you didn't kill it with fancy words? He kind of jokes around as he's helping you cut some crab meat.
Yes, that too.
Well, so while Verkus is hanging out with Zanza, the fast-talking cook in the back room,
that word's too long.
Finesse? What is that? What are the other three of you guys up to during this awesome cooking?
I would have just helped with opening the crabs and then immediately sat down at a table and just fell into a nap.
Okay. So you're just asleep then? Just napping?
Yeah.
Cool.
Like in the tavern, like at one of the tables.
Is it cool, Rex, since you are driving, if I roll a wisdom save to see if you have any dreams while you're napping?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Let me roll that for you real quick. For Eremos, that wisdom save is going to be a hefty +8. So let me go ahead and roll that real quick here.
That's a save. No.
It is,
I don't have a cantrip for that.
You're right. Well, and you wouldn't know he's even making that roll, but Eremos, so I rolled a 2 for you, which your +8 is a 10. So while you're sleeping,
is he within his own aura?
He is.
That's why I got the +8. Yeah, that's why.
That's why that factors into the +8.
Okay.
Yeah.
That all that means is that as you lay down to sleep, you are aware that you're kind of having some dreams, but you can't really interpret them or gain any meaning or anything from them. It feels really good to be resting, but there are occasional moments of anxiety or tension or just a little bit of dread mixed in. Yeah, but you're still. It does count as a short rest. I mean, you're not wounded, so you don't need to do any hit die or anything. But it is just a nap. So Tide. You can you roll me a perception check, please?
Yeah. Is that like, am I just trying to like something in like behind, like just kind of in my environment? I'm not looking for anything.
Exactly, just to see if you notice something. Yeah.
Okay. 16.
Okay, so you notice a human woman in some kind of like a leather apron with a bunch of tools on her belt is kind of near the door, kind of making eye contact with you, gesturing for you to like come outside, and she's like trying to be subtle, which is why it was a perception check.
Yeah, I'll walk over.
Okay, sweet. So she kind of whispers a question to you, and I'm actually going to type it so everyone else in the group can't hear it real quick for you. So while I'm typing this out, Kastan, what are you doing as Tide goes over to talk to this cryptic woman?
You're muted.
That's fair.
I can't really hear your thoughts.
I think, I mean, we're just back in Dinlaur at the tavern right now, right?
Mhm.
So I think that I would just be maybe playing with Olive at the bar, just like sitting, relaxing, waiting for my cousin to finish cooking. I'm just there, kind of like shouting helpful tips over at him, druid crafting whatever herbs he needs in the moment. Um, and then yeah, just like having a good old time with Olive. She's been through a little bit herself. Um, can we say that I found like a seashell?
The seashell.
Just like some seashell at some point.
Oh yeah, you found some seashells, and I figure Olive's running around helping you prepare garnishes for Veracus and
So
Sansa. So
I think at one point when like Veracus no longer needs my assistance, I'm kind of just like talking to people walking by and just like, look at my shell. Look how nice it is. And
a lot of the townspeople are very nice, but they're just kind of like, "Oh, that's nice," and they kind of keep walking.
I think I think at one point I unknowingly and accidentally cast distort value on it to make it very expensive looking.
Oh,
uh,
you do then get a human man who walks by and goes, "Whoa, by the gods, where did you find such a shell? That is
Oh,
truly one of a kind."
I went swimming in your bay and I found it down there. I'm surprised you don't have more of these. Your bay's full of them.
What? It's full of ones like this, like the one you're showing me.
Yeah, I found it down there. Isn't it a really nice shell?
Wow, it's amazing. If I found these, I could travel north into the cities and sell these. I had plans to travel south to my cousin's wedding this next week, but I'm going to cancel that trip and I'm going to collect seashells. I'm going to be rich like I've always wanted to be. Thank you, my friend, for telling me. Can you show me exactly on this map where you went to find these?
Yeah, absolutely. And I like write it down. I'm like, swim for this many yards, make a left at the boulder, you know.
He goes, oh, he's all writing it down like fervently, like he's excited.
Sir, I think that you'll have plenty of time to go and collect these seashells from the bay. You should probably go to your cousin's wedding, and if you want, you can take this and give it to him for his wedding or her wedding, their wedding.
Oh, we're not even that close. Don't worry about it. No, I've been to the bay swimming there. I like to swim, and I've never seen shells like this. So if you found this, it must be there recently. I have to go before anyone else finds these. I'm gonna be rich. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
When I become a king,
so happy.
I'm going to mention you in my acceptance speech. Thank you. And he pats you on the shoulder and just trots off.
Fantastic.
So Caston just can never be in taverns because first it was one of my gals who works at the Laughing Dragon Tavern that he unknowingly almost proposed to.
Yes.
Now it's this guy who you've systematically ruined his life without realizing it.
So my approach to taking spells in terms of sorcery spells with Caston is how much more fey fuckery can I get away with? And because this shell is so special to Caston, you know, this could happen with twigs, rocks, branches, a flower, whatever. That is so important to him. It has much more value in the eyes of just anyone passing by.
I love that. Just like it magically distorts by how you view it. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, it worked.
That's amazing.
I think I try and pay with the same shell. Like when they're like, "We need money," I'm like, "I have this shell."
How's this?
1 silver, I guess.
This is at least 1 silver. Look how shiny it is.
Who are you trying to pay? Or is this just a hypothetical?
Just like a hypothetical situation, if someone were asking me for money.
Well, with that distort value, you never know how it'll play out. But well, that was excellent. So Eremos, you would awaken from your nap, your short rest, to the smell of just the most tantalizingly delicious crab. Why am I drawing a chowder being cooked, wafting out of the kitchen, hitting your nostrils, and it smells incredible. So like an hour or two has passed. It is now, early evening. The sun is down. The air is cool. And Veracus, you guys are all 4 of you notice people coming in from the town. A lot of them are a little bit sweaty or dirty, like they've been working all day trying to repair stuff. And you notice a few people who have a lot more dirt on their like trousers and on their shoes. And they kind of they walk over to Kastan and kind of like bring him little pieces of fruit or vegetables, and they're like, I don't know how you did it, but that farmland is amazing. We're not only going to
Great.
be able to feed our town, but we can sell to other towns and help them have easier access to food. This is wonderful.
You guys also know that your bay is full of really pretty shells.
They're all just kind of like, wow, that's okay. We'll tell some people who are really into like collecting things, but we're really excited about the food, honestly. Like, this is great.
Yeah, I can help out with that anytime.
They're all very jovial. People keep offering you glasses of wine. Like, just very quickly, the whole town pretty much shows up, and there's lots of pleasant merriment. You know, some people go up and start playing some music up on a stage. Like, it's just very wholesome fun. Everyone's coming together. Mayor Frakis and Juilo, his aide, show up, and they're all going around. Everyone is just very jovial as they kind of, celebrate the wholesome parts of life after a very hectic, frantic couple days with some tragedy.
I'm gonna, as everyone's like enjoying the food, I'm gonna try and find the owner of the seaside resort. Is it the Tabaxi?
So the Tabaxi said that she is the niece of the owner. So
Okay,
you have not met the owner, but
okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna find her.
yeah, you would actually see an older Tabaxi woman with kind of graying fur,
Mhm.
and she's kind of standing in the corner in kind of not just like plainly dressed clothes, like not like she looks like shabby, but just kind of like she
Yeah.
just kind of dresses for functionality, doesn't really care what she's wearing, and she's kind of just smoking a pipe and just kind of watching everything, and you just get a vibe that she could be the owner.
Okay. I'm gonna approach her and say, Madam, are you the owner of this fine establishment?
I am. What of it? She has a real deep voice, raspy.
I just say, well, I must say, it's a lovely location, wonderful cook, lovely food. Um, I was wondering, there's a lot to a name, and Seaside Resort is nice.
It's classy, isn't it?
It's classy, but I feel like there's a better name. There's just something that we could do more with this.
Nah, Seaside Resort is good.
Hear me out. The
What about the
Seaboard.
crab shack?
Is your name Joe, perchance? I was wondering. I've been thinking about it for a long, long time. The Seaborn Duty. DUTY, but the Seaborn Duty.
Nah, Seaside Resort's good.
Fair enough.
You
Fair
cook
enough.
this food, it's good.
Yes. Thank you.
Make sure you show Shanza how you do it. I want him to make food like this. It's good. She
He-
goes back
he-
to smoking her pipe.
He worked with me. I think he was able to take a few notes.
Good.
He claimed to be the best cook in the town.
Yeah,
Are you sure?
yeah,
Positive.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Kind of just thinking about some of the sadder meals he's had here is just like, that's really sad. Just walks off and you know what, Verkus, I'm going to go over to Sansa and try and give him some notes and like, hey, this is how you prepare this is how you prepare a phenomenal grilled cheese sandwich, this is how you prepare all of these different things, and just like
You should consult with Tide for the grilled cheese.
yeah. But just different ideas to hopefully improve. And at one point he just says, and don't forget, there's this wonderful seasoning called salt. You're by the ocean. You have plenty of salts.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is good. I mean, the chowder you made tonight's amazing, but it seems like a lot of work, you know?
But the product is worth it.
He's kind of playing with his mustache. He's like, is it though?
Yes, it's
Perfect.
really, really worth it. Just a little more effort. You'll have more people, which means more money.
Because you hear in your head, cousin, I can help if you need. If you're trying to convince them. I'm very persuasive.
Just the responses. I can't anymore.
Stanza kind of goes, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, old Marge, she pays me what she call it, a salary. So, you know.
Okay.
I hear talk of this nice farm though. Maybe we'll get some more vegetables. I can make salads. Those are easy, right? You just cut some stuff, you throw it in, give it to the people, and it's good.
No dressing?
If they wanted, they bring their own. I got books to read. I like to read. That's my thing. I'm what they call a scholarly individual, you know, as he plays with his mustache.
Scholarly individual.
Yeah,
how smart does this guy actually look?
I'm a learned man, as they say, you know.
Does he actually look like a learned man? Is he like full of shit?
Based on talking to him, you're completely blindsided by this. You're like, what?
Great. I just Have you? This is making more sense. How you haven't heard about the Laughing Dragon Tavern?
Yeah, I mean, if it's outside of the town, I ain't never been outside the town. You know, is what it is.
So you're a learned man, but you're not a traveled man.
He's the smartest guy in this town.
My mind travels. My body stays here in the kitchen. My mind travels.
Yeah, like that. Okay. Just think about it. Just, you know.
Hey, you got some fun stories. Maybe you write a book someday and I'll read it. It'll be fun.
You have no idea. Okay, and just I walk away. I'm done. His hand was twitching towards the sword of entrance, just like
Murder in Dinlaur, the next arc of the campaign.
Nope, done. Just walks away, sits in a corner, and just like glaring at the owner and at Sansa. Just
town hero murders smartest man in town.
Only literate man in town, slayed by town
the
hero.
only guy that can read everybody's mail.
Days after horrific terrorist attack. Oh man.
What will the town do?
Well, after some interesting party interactions, you guys notice that the music kind of like lowers and starts to cease altogether as Mayor Rakian gets up on the stage and says, "People of Dinlaur, I think tonight we all owe a special thanks to 4 special individuals who have come to our town, helped rid us of a very troublesome fellow, and have helped us work to rebuild and have revolutionized our access to food as a settlement. Let us thank these travelers who have come and done so much for us in a short amount of time." And he starts kind of leading a cheer, and everyone's just kind of cheering and looking at you guys, and a few people who are near you kind of clap you on the shoulder, and drinks are clinking together in cheers. It's all very nice. And a few people start looking at especially Verkus and Eremos and going, "Speech, speech, speech."
I telekinetically push Verkus up.
Oh, Verkus, you didn't even have to. Verkus, like, as you do, like,
I give you a spring to your step.
Yeah.
So you could like make an entrance onto the.
Oh yeah.
I think Tide and I both like vault him up.
It's my mage hand.
And as I'm helping him up, I'll give him another guidance.
Nice.
So I look over at everyone and I just say, we came here guided by fate, guided for a grand purpose. We had thought that this would be just a moment, a grain of sand in the timepiece that flows. But then we met wonderful individuals, lost friends that we quickly had made. He kind of bows his head in remembrance to the guard captain.
I minor illusion a quick image of her over the audience
Wonderful.
as we're talking.
That hits
I'm
with
gonna-
some of the audience members. You feel
and
it.
he
It's
and he
resonating.
just kind of like does this for a moment.
If you'll allow, I want to just help out by linking telepathically and just offering minor illusion visuals as you're going through this speech.
So into it, yes.
The people
I'm
are
an audio
enthralled,
video
by the
guy.
way. Oh my goodness.
I don't believe the word friends does it justice anymore. My family and I were asked and sought out to aid in a turmoil nearby, to which we happily lended our spells and blades. But that is when we learned of greater danger within this wonderful town of Dinlaur, and knew that needed to be ended. I am remiss to say that I acted quickly and did not allow the law to take its proper proceedings in certain pieces of this.
A few people are shaking their heads and one random guy yells out, "No, you're a hero."
There's a smirk, just like a yeah. But he says, no, a true hero. True heroes are those like my 3 brothers in arms. I am an agent. I'm an agent that will continue to do what is right for all. I believe that we were brought here by fate to aid not only in ending a horrible individual, but bringing you all more food by assisting in a nearby turmoil, and that us, as these fated 4, will also soon have our names up in the stars.
People
And
start
we-
applauding. They cut you off. They're applauding, and
Great.
you guys
He's
do
fine.
notice Kastan has minor illusion himself crying, going, "He called me brother." And then the 4 buttery beings is written up in lights above the stage, thanks to Kastan's magic.
He looks up at it and goes,
But as this is all happening, and then it suddenly changes to the fated 4, yes. As this is happening, though, Eremos, with your passive perception, as you're enjoying this fun moment, when Verkus says our names written in the stars, for just a brief moment, Eremos, you feel a presence beside you, and you kind of look over, and Eremos, for just the barest of second, you barely perceive Kirgon standing and smiling and nodding happily. You can't really tell if you dreamed it or not, or just imagined it, but it felt pretty real. And that's everyone is cheering in the bar. Verkus, you now see the fated 4 behind you, but that just wanted to add that in.
I bow and then hold up my tankard and just say, to Dinlaur.
Everyone, to Dinlaur! Hey, like the
Dinlaur!
I sacred flame the banner
And-
so it like sparks.
And in
I'll
Kastan's,
face step the 3 of us onto stage, and we'll all 4 of us hold
Nice.
up our mugs.
and in Kastan, in your mind, Verkus, you go, and I didn't even lie.
Most
Everyone's
truthful
just
Clap
speech
you on the
ever.
back as we like hop up on stage. Proud of you, cousin.
I wanted to talk about a dragon.
Not today, cousin.
The rest of the evening, everyone's just eating and drinking and happy. It's just a night of merriment. If there's anything you guys want to do, or anyone from the town you want to specifically talk to, let me know. But otherwise, we can call it a long rest and start the next day up in the morning.
I really want at
I'm
some
re-
point during the evening for Verkus to start telling stories of what we've done.
Oh yes.
And Kassan
yeah.
will like reenact it with minor illusions, just this little miniature.
I just thought of the
what,
scene
like,
in
us
Return of the
kills of
Jedi
the
where
battle.
C-3PO's telling the story and
Mhm.
R2 has little sound effects of like the walkers.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The whole time, especially if there's like little kids, like he's really like trying to
Yeah.
entertain them.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
I've got like just quick little like little stills of the battle, like Verkus going in with his sword after that, like
Bub and his
valiant
flaming
thing.
heels.
When it gets to stories of our actual, like the ocean,
Yes.
instead of like little crabs, he's
They're
making them
giant
sound like
sea monsters.
exactly.
Yeah.
The eels were
Crabs the size of sea
Leviathans.
snakes.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to do this, I'm mentally linked with you. I see what you want me to put out. I'm there.
Perfect.
Oh,
yes.
I love it.
Yeah, you see instead with the sea snakes that were pretty big, but now they're leviathans that are just dripping poison from their mouths.
100%.
A little
crabs
dwarven kid
are
looks at
enormous.
Verkus and goes, I want to be you when I grow up, Mr. Verkus.
Stay in school.
We don't have a
Culinary
school. We're a small
school.
town.
Ugh.
The cook teaches us how to read.
The smartest guy here.
Oh.
No.
Smartest
He's
guy
the
here
town
retired.
educator. Yeah, he's the
He
town
retired from
educator.
teaching.
Oh God.
We will
I've-
hire you a real teacher.
Yes.
We'll send one in from a town at some point.
Yeah. When everything dies down though, and everyone is like retired, I would like to do something in the dead of night.
Ew.
Well, before we get to that, well,
Just remember, Kassan trances. You only have 4 hours, and my eyes are open.
That's okay. That's fine.
Well, before we go to Verkus's
In
curious
the
deed
middle
in the
of the night.
Yes, in the dead of night. Before we go to that, does anyone else want to do anything before, kind of leaving the party?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to step out of the seaside resort and go around back and like practice / play / figure out my ocarina.
Oh,
Yes.
I just want to sit
'cause you
down
found
behind the
reef one,
tavern. Behind. Yeah, I got it from Dalatina.
Yeah.
Dude.
So I assume it's like made out of coral, and I'm just going to play it for the first time.
Yes, no roll with that because you're just trying to figure it out. You're not really trying to perform for anyone. Well, actually, I am going to roll a performance check for you to see how quickly you like vibe with it. So your performance is now a +8 with your charisma bonus. So I'm going to roll a d20 for you, and 17. So you start playing this, and you just really quickly get a feel for it, and you're just figuring out the notes almost seamlessly. Like you haven't done something this intuitive and easy in a long time, and it just makes you feel so good and fulfilled to be able to just control the sounds hitting your ears with seamless motions of your fingers and the way you're expelling your breath into the instrument. It's just a really good moment of calm and pleasantness,
Yeah, and I feel really inspired by my brief vision of Jir'Haniya as well. So
Yeah,
I feel great.
That's awesome. Actually, there are 2 little kids that have stepped out. They need a break from the excitement of Verkus's stories, and they hear you playing, and they kind of run over. It's a young human kid and a young halfling kid, and they go, "Wow, Mister, you're really good. We thought you were a warrior, but you're a bard as well. That's so cool."
This is new to me. This was a gift from a friend. And I put it away, and I smile at them warmly as I head back inside to go to bed.
Very nice. Yeah, you hear them you hear them as you're walking away. They go, "Wow, he's so cool. I want to learn to play an instrument." Like, yeah, you just hear them talking, like gushing over how cool you are as you walk away. So nice. So now that Eremos has had a lovely time bonding with his new instrument, and he's going to bed, before Verkus's cryptic deed of the night, Kastan and Ty, do you have anything to do in the evening? Anything specific you want to do?
Hyde, I think I might need your help with something.
Sure. I have a separate sketchbook out that I've been working on. I've been trying to figure out what it's for, and I just did. but like so like you see me close it. Like what's going on, Kastan?
So I've noticed that Eremos isn't sleeping quite well, and I think I can help him sleep with just a little bit of help from my magic, but I think I might need help from you to really make it take.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think maybe whenever we feel it's appropriate, we should probably try and help him sleep.
What'd you have in mind?
Literally just casting sleep on him.
Well, let me see if I actually
Do you want
have
to
that
run it
I'm
spell.
by
not
him
sure. I'm not
first?
sure how much clearer I can make that. I want to
Um,
magically put him to sleep so he can
don't-
rest.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
I don't have sleep as a spell.
Well,
I thought I did.
that is quite surprising. I just have this feeling you know all magic. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, not one of the spells I took. Yeah,
Okay. Well,
I think that yeah, we gotta also. I think maybe we should speak to him. Maybe see if we can find a way to get him to comfortably sleep. Um, I feel like maybe we could share the burden with him. If like there's an evening where we can pass along the one item that is more of a burden, that way he doesn't have to.
actually, I think maybe I could put him to sleep by myself. But you're right. I will talk to him to see if this is something he would want to do.
And then so I was like a little thing about magic and on this plane. Mortals aren't as open to free magic.
Okay.
I know. I was like, I love magic. I think it should be everywhere all the time, and people should be using it.
I mean,
Should be
that's how
everything
I grew
everywhere
up.
all at
Yeah.
once.
Yes, it does. It does so many amazing. Look what little crabs can do with just a little bit of anyway. Using magic on your friends isn't necessarily, even though the intention is good, isn't necessarily looked on so compassionately here.
Material plane is weird.
I know, but just magically putting your friends to sleep. If you wanted to ask him if he had trouble sleeping and you could cast magic on him, that would definitely be perfectly fine. But I could see how in the Fey realm someone would take that as like, thank you, I needed that and didn't know that about myself.
Well, that was the case back in the day, but now most of us can't be put to sleep magically because it just happens so often. We just grew an immunity to it.
It just happened. You're stressed. You're stressed.
There was like 10 years where everyone was just asleep.
Just being randomly put to sleep throughout the day.
The decade of slumber.
Yes, yeah, it was a very restful.
The decade in the Fey realms is very long.
Indeed.
But yeah, I feel your concern. But yeah, I have something kind of in the works that might bring him comfort. We'll see more in the morning.
Okay. I'm gonna go find him then. And I run off to go find Eremos.
And like I go back to sit down, I pull out my this new book that I have going on. I think what I've been doing is I've been doing like a painted illustration, like I've been like sketching like the wild stories Verkus has been telling of our adventures.
Nice.
So like I've been doing that exact. So like as they were doing like the minor illusion and all that, I was like putting it onto like a little book. And so what I'm hoping is that we can get to a big city, have it, and then start having these published.
Oh my god, wait. I think I have calligrapher's tools. That would be great.
Yeah, I have painter
No,
supplies,
never
and I'm
mind.
thinking that as like I'm just kind of like hand drawing, like instead of actual paint, like sketch, like
I've got
pencils and stuff.
cartographer's tools, so I can draw a map of our adventure.
This is the beauty of D&D is we sit here and I'm like, what's a big existential, scary, cosmic threat? And you guys are like, we're going to publish a book after
Got it.
helping a reef of
People-
turtles in a war with the crabs. And I'm like,
People
this
will
is way
know.
better than anything I could have ever come up with.
It was
That's-
a process. It all was important.